Which of the following pairs of quantities do not have the same fundamental units? Pair of quantities that do not have the same fundamental units. Let's take a look at this. Talk and walk. Talk and walk can never have what? The same fundamental units. Because talk is what? Is just as good as what? Oh, my bad. Talk has the same units with what? With work. Talk means what? It's just work in the form of rotational energy. That is just it. B. Spring constant and surface tension. Spring constant is measured in what? In Newton per meter. Surface tension is also, when you are defining surface tension, you say it's force per unit length acting on the surface of a plate, making it to behave as though it were covered by an elastic membrane. That is, the statement force per unit length makes it to be equated to what? Spring constant, which is also measured what? In Newton per meter. So both are having the same what? The same unit. Next, electric force and electromotive force. Electric force is a force measured in Newton. Electromotive force is not a force, it's rather work done per unit charge, measured in what? In volts. So these are not going to be the same unit. D. Stress and pressure. Stress and pressure, they are the same. Stress, pressure, or what? Young modulus, all are the same. They have the same unit. So the correct option is option C. Next. 152. The dual nature of matter is known as what? Wave particle paradox. So what matter behaves as being a wave at the same time being a particle. So that is what we call wave particle paradox. Next. 153. The dimension of radioactive decay constant is what? Is radioactive decay constant is given as this. Is a constant that is given with this formula. So our radioactive decay constant is what? Is lambda, and is given as what? Ln 2 all over half life, and this ln 2 is 0.693 all over half life. If you talk of half life is measured in time. So this is a constant. It means what? The dimension of what? The decay constant is going to be what? Per time. So the first option A, 0 raised to power minus 1, is the right option for 153. Next. 154. Calculate the apparent weight loss of a man weighing 70 kg in an elevator, moving downward with an acceleration of 1.5 meter per second, stage G to be 10 meter per second square. Alright, if somebody is moving in an accelerator, he or she either descend or ascend. In the case of ascending, if somebody is ascending, this is what happens. The reaction on the accelerator is what? Is given as T, which is given as what? M into bracket G plus A, where G is what? Is acceleration due to gravity, and A is the acceleration of the body. So, but in the case of descending, we subtract the acceleration from the what? That of gravity. Descending, we give you tension, we become what? We become M into bracket G minus A, and that is it. Now let's take a look at the question again. We have what? So we have a case of what? We have a case of a man whose weight is mass equals to what? 70 kilogram. And what happens? We say the acceleration of the man is 1.5 meter per second, and we have G to be what? 10 meter per second. This the tension the man is going to feel is going to be what? Is going to be T equals to mass, which is 70 into bracket 10 minus 1.5 and Newton, and that is going to be 70 multiplied by 8.5, and this is going to be what? 595 Newton. 595 Newton. That is what? That is the tension the man will feel. However, the apparent weight loss, that is the question. The apparent what? Weight loss. So we are most likely to be tempted to choose what? To choose B. But the question did not say the weight of the man in the elevator. The apparent weight loss. The man is supposed to weigh what? Because his mass is 70 kilogram, is supposed to weigh 700 what? Kilogram, Newton, because weight is what? Mass times acceleration due to gravity. However, he only finds that what is weighing 595 Newton. So the weight loss will be what? Will be 700. Weight of the man is mg, which is 570 multiplied by 100 by 10 rather, which is what? 700 Newton. However, the man is only experiencing 595 Newton. It means what? Apparent weight loss equals to 700 minus 595 in Newton. And if let's take a look at this, 700 minus 595, and this is what? 105 Newton. So the correct option there is option D. Option D. Next, 155. Which of the following radiations has momentum? Which of the following radiations have momentum? 1. Alpha particles. 2. Gamma radiations. 3. Beta particles. Alpha particle has mass. Gamma particle has no mass. So if it does not have mass, it cannot have momentum, because we say what? Momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Then although it might be able to move very fast, but because it has no mass, it will consider it as what? Not having momentum. So literally the correct options is just the one that includes only 1 and 3 only. So we look for the one that has 1 and 3 only, and that is option B. That is option B. The correct option is B. Next, 156. A bullet of mass 90 grams was fired from a gun. We have a bullet of mass 90 grams, and it was fired from gun. And moves with a velocity of 250 meters per second. If the mass of the gun is 3 kilograms, calculate the recoil of the gun. So let's do this. We are given that what? Mass of the bullet, m of the bullet is what? Is 90 grams. So we convert to what? Kilogram, and that is what? 90 over 1000, and this is going to be what? 0.09 kilogram. That is mass in kilogram. But the velocity of the bullet, P of bullet, is what? 250 meter per second. And we have a gun of mass of gun, G for gun, we say it is what? 3 kilogram. And we are looking for the what? The recoil of the gun. What do we mean by recoil? The velocity with which the gun will bounce back if it shoots the bullet. So we call it velocity of the what? Of the gun. But don't forget Newton's third law of motion that says what? To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So we take that into account and say the what? The momentum of the bullet is equal to the momentum of the gun. So mb vb is equal to mg vg, and with that we can have vg being equal to mb vb all over what? All over mg. If you do this, it's going to give you mb is 0.09 times 250 all over 3. So let's take a look at that. 0.09 multiplied by 250 all divided by 3, and this is simply what? 7.5 meter per second. So the correct option is what? Is option C, 7.5 meter per second. However, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media. Do well to like and share with your friends. Question 157. Which of the following statements about evaporation is not correct? Which of the following statements about evaporation is not Correct. It takes place at all temperatures. Yes. Evaporation takes place at all temperatures. B. It causes a rise in the temperature of the liquid. No. It rather causes a what? A drop in the temperature of a liquid. Next. Its rate increases with a rise in the temperature of the liquid. Yes, its rate increases with rise in the temperature of the liquid. D. The faster molecule escape from the surface. Yes, that is just it. So the only option that is very wrong is that what? It causes rise in the temperature of the liquid. However, evaporation causes a what? A drop in the temperature of a liquid. So the right option is option B. Next. Question 158. Which of the following colors radiate heat energy the most? The black, the red, the green, and the white. We have in one of our previous questions have told us that what? That the black bodies, they absorb heat the most, and they what? They emit heat the most. But the white body, they do what? They radiate, they do what? They reflect heat. But the question says radiate, so we have to choose our choice between the word radiate and reflect. So white bodies, they do not radiate, they only reflect. The only body that radiates is what? Is black body. So the correct option is what? Is A. Next. Question 158. Which of the following liquids could be used in a thermometer to measure temperature between 114 degrees Celsius and 0? Pentane, ethanol, water, and mercury. As a matter of fact, the only liquid that is suitable for this measurement is what? Is mercury, because mercury can measure temperature even above 300 degrees Celsius. So for between 0 and 114 degrees, we are most likely to choose what? To choose mercury. Water can only measure the temperature not more than what? Not more than 100 degrees Celsius, because it will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. And apart from that, we cannot use water to what? To measure temperature, because of its what? Anomalous expansion. Don't forget that water has a behavior that is called the anomalous behavior of water. Between 0 and 4 degrees, the density of water drops, making an expansion of water to be what? Non-uniform between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. However, even above 4 degrees Celsius, water still behaves anomally, so we cannot use it as a what? As a thermometric liquid. Ethanol and pentane. Ethanol cannot reach up to what? Up to 114 degrees Celsius. Ethanol will boil at about 78 degrees Celsius, so it wouldn't be able to do that. Pentane is not suitable. As a matter of fact, you cannot use pentane. So the only option that is the best for use is what? Mercury. Next. 160. The operation of an optical fiber is based on the principle of what? Is it based on principle of total internal reflection of light? That is D. Optical fibers are designed based on the principle of what? Total internal reflection of light. Next. 161. During photoelectricity, the condition for liberated photoelectrons to flow round in external circuit is when the A. What function of the metal is accurately known? No, you don't have to know that. B. Color of the incident radiation is suitable. It does not use color. It only uses frequency. So what function of the metal is just equal to the incident photon energy? We are most likely to choose that option C. But let's look at the question again. It says the condition for liberated photoelectrons to flow, it must flow. And when you just have enough energy to give it the work function, the electron will just come up to the surface, but it will not flow. You need to accelerate it. So you need an energy that is more than the work function. So the incident photon energy exceeds the work function of the metal. Yes, that is the correct option. Next. 162. Absorption spectra exhibited by atom is as a result of what? Don't forget that Niels Bohr, while explaining the reason why J.J. Thomson saw some scintillation in the case of what? In the case of his in the case of his discharge tube experiment, Niels Bohr said that atoms, when they lose energy, they radiate photons, and these photons they radiate is in quantum. It is a discrete entity. It is not a decimal value, and it can never be. So it also says that if an atom gains an energy, it can what? It can excite, and in the case of excitation, there will be no what? There will be no scintillation of light. So let's take a look at the question again. As absorption spectra explained by atom is as a result of what? If there is an absorption spectra, the only thing that happens is there will be a kind of light glow, black glow, which will not show to the naked eye or to anybody. So it's only when there is what? Excitation, that there is what? Absorption spectra. When there is the excitation, there will be what? Emission spectra. So the only option is what? Is excitation of an electron from a lower energy level to a higher energy level. Next. So let's look at question 163. So reduce the effect of reverberation on halls and sound studios. Which of the following is done? A. The walls are perforated. B. The walls are covered with sound absorbing materials. C. The walls are never plastered. D. The walls are quickly painted. Which is the correct option is going to be what? The walls are covered with sound absorbing materials. And we have to ask ourselves, what is reverberation? Reverberation just means what? Echo that is what? That is much, or we call it multiple echo. So to stop that, we have to do what? We have to cover the walls with sound absorbing materials. Next. 164. Which of the following explains the reason why a pin floats on water and towel soaks water respectively? Towel soaks water because of what? Because of the nature of towel. Towels are designed so that what? The surface is made of what? Of tiny, or you say narrow substances or narrow fabrics, so that they can absorb water in form of what? Capillarity. So the reason why water goes in is because in capillarity, the substance can move rapidly into a narrow tube. Then when pins float, it's as a result of water. It's as a result of what? It's as a result of surface tension. So it is going to be surface tension for pin and capillarity for what? For towel. So B is the right combination that can be chosen. So B is the right answer. Next. When an AC circuit is in resonance, which of the following is not true? When an AC circuit is, so when do we say AC circuit is in resonance? When capacitive reactance is equal to what? The inductive reactance. So let's take a look at it. A, the impedance is maximum. No, in resonance, the impedance is what? Is minimum. B, the reactance is zero. No, the reactance is not zero. Yes, reactance is zero. When AC circuit is in resonance, reactance is zero. However, the impedance is not maximum. C, the capacitive reactance of the inductor equals that of the capacitor. Yes, that is true. D, the current is maximum. Yes, current is maximum. So the wrong option is what? The impedance is maximum. So it is not what happens in a resonance in the case of what? AC circuits. Next. 166. The charge carriers in a semiconductor are holes and electrons, or we call it free electrons. It's either we call them electrons or free electrons. So it's holes and free electrons. Next. 167. The correct relationship between capacitance C of a parallel plate capacitor and the plate separator D is what? Alright, it is literally we say capacitance is what? Your dielectric material multiplied by the distance all over area. This is general, formula for it. However, when it has to be between capacitor and what? And the distance or separating distance, we say they are what? Directly proportional. So this is a constant, this is a constant. So the only thing you can say what capacitance is directly proportional to what to separating distance, and that makes the right option to be what option B. Next, 168. The velocity with which a body will escape the influence of the Earth's gravitation. The body is accelerated through. If a body will escape the what the Earth's influence of gravity, then the body will have to go through what escape velocity, and the escape velocity is given as what v escape equals to square root of 2gr, where 2gr, where g is acceleration due to gravity, r is the radius or the separation between the earth or the radius of the earth. So the escape velocity is square root of 2gr. So the correct option here is what escape velocity. Next, 169. A metal block of mass 30 kg and density 1350 kg per meter cube was partially immersed in a liquid whose specific gravity is 0.3434 with 2/3 of its volume submerged. Calculate the apparent weight of the block. Alright, let's take a look at that. Alright, we have that one. We have a metal block whose mass is what? Mass equals to 30 kilogram. And the density is what? Density is 1350 kilogram per meter cube. But we know something, that's what? That density is related to volume. So density is mass over volume. Density is mass over volume, and as such, you can say volume equals to mass over density. And that means that what? I can have it as mass 30 over density 1350, then our answer is what? Meter cube. Let's do this and see what we're going to have. And it's going to be 30 divided by 1350, and this is 0.022. So the volume of the block is 0.022 meter cube. That is the volume. However, we're told that it was partially immersed in a liquid whose specific gravity is what? 0.34. So the specific gravity of the liquid, specific gravity is the same as what? Relative density. And we're told it is what? 0.34. It means that what? Density will be what? Of that liquid will be what? Relative density times 1000, which is what? 0.34 times 1000, and this is going to be what? 340 kilogram per meter cube. However, we're told that what? Only 2/3 of its volume was submerged. So since it was partially submerged, we cannot take the total volume. So 2/3 of the volume that is submerged, it means that what? That we look for the what? We're going to look for the volume that is submerged. So volume of liquid displaced is going to be what? 2/3 of the volume of the solid itself multiplied by what? 0.022 meter cube. And this is going to be multiplied by, so this is going to give me the volume as what? Volume of liquid to be 0.0148 meter cube. This volume we convert it to what? We convert it to mass, and we convert it to upthrust, and that is upthrust equals to rho of liquid times volume of liquid times gravity, that's rho Vg, and this is going to be density, which is 340 multiplied by volume, which is what? Which is 0.0148 multiplied by 10. And let's do this. This is going to be what? 50.37 Newton. So U equals to 50.37 Newton. However, this is just the upshot. But the question says calculate the apparent weight of the block. Apparent weight is the weight of the body when it is in what? When it is in the fluid. So we say apparent weight W apparent is going to be its weight itself in air minus weight in liquid. And don't forget, it is going to be, or rather minus upthrust. So weight, apparent weight is going to be the weight. If a body is 30 kg, then its weight is going to be what? 30 times 10 minus what? Your upthrust, 50.37. That is 300 minus 50.37, and this is going to be 300 minus, and this is going to be 249.63 Newton. This is the apparent weight of the body. So the right option is what? Is 249.63. So option C is the right option. Next. Question 170. The most suitable cell used for short interval switches in electric belts is, when we have short interval switches in electric belt, the most suitable is what? Is a Leclanche cell. A Leclanche cell can do that because it can give current, high current for intermittent period of time. So it can give high current for intermittent period of time. That is why they are usually used in what? In the switches of electrical belts. So the correct answer is the Leclanche cell. Next. Question 171. The current in an RLC circuit, series circuit, attains its maximum value when the capacitive reactance is what? Is, like one of the questions we just solved, is it has its maximum value when the capacitive reactance is equals to the what? The inductive reactance is equals to what? The inductive reactance. So the right option is option B for 171. Next. 172. A circuit board contains a number of components, including diodes. The function of the diode is to regulate what? Diodes are used to what? To rectify circuits. And why do we what is rectification? Rectification is the process by which an AC is converted what? To DC. So most of the chargers of your appliances you use, they are simply rectifiers, because they take in the AC and they convert it to DC, which is the most likely to be the most useful form of current that your appliances will take them in. So A, amount of current, it regulates the amount of current. No, it does not regulate amount of current. B, direction of current. Yes, it regulates the direction of the current, and that is why it can be used as a rectifier, so that no negative current will allow to pass through it. So the correct option is is direction of current, B. Next. 173. The property that is propagated in a traveling wave is what? Amplitude, wavelength, frequency, energy. It is energy. A traveling wave is that one which is traveling in the direction of its its propagation. The energy propagation is following the motion of the wave, and it is only energy that is always moved along when a traveling wave is being propagated. So the correct option is D, energy. Next. 174. The amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 10 kilograms of copper by 1 Kelvin is its what? When it has to do with mass, then we call it specific heat capacity. So the right option is what? Specific heat capacity. Latent heat or specific or heat capacity, they do not require what? Mass. No, while latent heat requires mass, it does not require what? Change in temperature. Internal energy is not part of the option we can consider. Heat capacity does not consider what? does not consider mass, so the right option is A. Next. 175. Two vessels of volume 5 and 3 liters contain air at pressure of 3 and 7 atmospheric pressure respectively. What will be the resultant pressure B when they are connected with a small tube, assuming temperature remains constant? And this just has to do with what? With our pressure variation, partial pressure, and total pressure. So when we have a case like this, we say we're going to have P1 V1 plus P2 V2 equals to P total into bracket V1 plus V2. And the question is asking us for the final pressure. And then we go into looking at this. We have volumes V1 is equals to 5, V2 equals to what? 3 liters. So then we have what? We have the pressure was what? The pressure was 3 and 7. So P1 equals to 3, P2 equals to 7 ATM. So what do? We put in our value, and don't forget PT is same thing as what? P1 V1 plus P2 V2 all over V1 plus V2. And as such, let's put in the values. We're going to have what? P1, which is what? Our 3 multiplied by V1, which is 5, plus P2, which is 7, multiplied by V2, which is 3, all over V1 plus V2. That is 3 plus 5. And this is going to be 15 plus 21 all over 8. And here you're going to have what? 36 all over 8. 36 divided by 8 is what? Is 4.5 ATM. So that is the final pressure at constant temperature. Next. So 176. Two pieces of ice, when pressed together tightly and the pressure then removed, are seen to be joined together. This effect is known as, that is what we call regulation. So regulation is the process by which pressure is used to melt a solid substance or an ice, and then they are actually, what happens is that after the pressure is removed, the ice refreezes again. So regulation is the right option. Next. 177. Which of the following components is not part of an AC generator? When it has to do with what? AC generator, it is always going to be what? Commutator. Because another name for commutator is what? Is split ring. They are not required in an AC in an AC generator. The only thing required in an AC generator is what? Is the slip ring, the field magnet, and the carbon brushes. Next. 178. A transistor functions mainly as a what? When we have a transistor, their main function is what? Amplifiers and voltage or current regulators. So they can regulate, they can what? They can perform as switch, and majorly their work is what? Is amplification of voltage or current. So a switch and amplifier, yes, they can be used as switch at the same time what? An amplifier. Rectifier, B, rectifier and amplifier, no, it's only that can be used for as rectifier. So transistors can never be used as what? Rectifier. C, charge storer, no, they are never charge storer. If you want to store charge, so that you use your accumulator, your capacitor, or your inductor. Charge storer, they can never be charge storer. So you are going to be what? Switch and an amplifier. So A is the right option for 178. Next. 179. The differences of sag in solids, liquids, and gases may be accounted for by A. their relative masses, B. their melting point, C. the different molecules in each of them, D. the spacing and force acting between the molecules. The correct option is what? Is the D. the spacing and force acting between the molecules. That's the main difference between what? Solid, liquid, and what? Gases. Because whereas the force intermolecular force of attraction between solid is high, it is lower in liquid, and it is very less when it comes to what? Gases. That is it. Next. 180. Which of the following is not a desirable property of a thermometric liquid? High boiling points. It is high heat capacity. No, it must have what? Low heat capacity. Because if it has high heat capacity, it will not respond to what? To a very little change in what? In temperature. So it must have a very low heat capacity. And this is another reason, once again, why water is never suitable as what? Thermometric liquid. Because the heat capacity of water is very high. Next. 181. Streamlining the shape of the body is a method of reducing frictional force. The design of the following object is based on this concept, except that of A. ships, aeroplane, B. C. bicycle, D. motor cars. You can see that when we say streamlining, you see the shape of a ship looks like that of what? It's very similar to that of an aeroplane. I mean, they look like the shape of fishes. They look like the shape of what? Fishes. So that is what we call streamlining. And you can see only bicycle cannot be able to what? To fit into this. And the question is, why do we streamline? We streamline to reduce what? To reduce friction. That is it. So the right option is what? Is bicycle, because bicycle was never designed to streamline. Next. 182. The densities of the following liquids decrease steadily with temperature when heated from 0 degrees Celsius, except which of them? Glycerin, ethanol, water, oil. The only substance that will not increase constantly or steadily when it's being heated is what? Is water. I've said that anomalous behavior of water is just a phenomenon where water expands not uniformly and unevenly when it's being heated, and majorly happens between 0 and what? 4 degrees Celsius. Next. 183. The area under the load extension graph represents what? The load extension graph is the graph which you use to analyze your Hooke's law, and the area under this graph is known as what? Is the work done. It is the work done, or the energy of the elastic material. So A. Young modulus, no. B. Extension, no. C. The work done by the elastic body. Yes, that is the area under that. So the right option is C. Next. 184. The triple point. What is a triple point? As the name implies, triple point is the point at which what? At which the three faces of a matter can coexist. The matter existing at that point will exist as solid, at what? As liquid, as also what? As vapor or gas. So let's see the options. Is the lowest temperature on a given temperature scale? No. B. Has exact value 273.16 Kelvin? No. C. Has an approximate Celsius of minus? No. D. It is the temperature at which solid, liquid, and vapor phases of matter coexist. That is what we call what? The triple point. D is the right option for question 184. Next. The table below shows the masses of cobalt-59 nucleus and its subatomic particles. So we're given what? Cobalt-59, 27. So the mass and the atomic and the energy per what? Per AMU, also known as U, is given. And we are to use this to answer the question 185 and 186. So let's quickly copy this out before we go to question 185 and 186. We have the particles, we have proton, we have the neutron, and we have the masses. So for this, we're going to have 58.933 mass in units. That's atomic mass units. Here it is for proton, it is 1.007, and for neutron it is 1.009. All right, let's go to the next question. The next question says, calculate the mass defect of cobalt-59 nucleus. What is mass defect? Mass defect is the difference in the what? In the given mass number and the actual mass number. Let's take a look at the mass number given. The mass number given for what? For cobalt-59 is what? 58.955. Let's get the actual mass number. What is mass number again? Is it not the addition of what? Of atomic number and neutron together, or you say proton plus neutron. So there are 27 what? Proton in the what? In a cobalt-59 atom. Then we have to ask ourselves, how many neutron do we have? Don't forget the mass number is given as what? 59, and then you say mass number is equals to what? It's equals to atomic number, or let me say proton is also, it also means what? Atomic number, plus what? Neutron. However, I know the proton is the same thing as what? As the atomic number. So let me get the neutron. So the mass number is 59 equals to proton, which is the same thing as what? As the atomic number, 27, plus neutron, let me call it N. So my neutron is going to be what? 59 minus 27, and this is what? 32. So I have 32 neutron. Now let's get what is the actual mass of all these particles. For proton, actual mass of proton equals what? Equals to 27 multiplied by the mass of one proton. Mass of one proton is 1.007. Why am I saying 27? Because we have 27 protons in it, and each has a mass of what? 1.007 units. So let's do that. 27 multiplied by 1.007, and we have 27.189 units. That is for that. Then the actual mass of neutron equals to what? It is equals to the number of neutron, which is 32 of them, multiplied by the mass of one neutron, which is what? 1.009. So what will it be? So 32 times 1.009, and this is what? This is simply 32.288. So the actual mass number of cobalt is equals to what? You add the what? The actual mass of proton plus what? Actual mass of neutron, and that would be what? 27.189 plus 32.288, and the answer is going to be what? 59.477. This is 59.477. However, the question told us that what? It is supposed to be what? 58.933. That is the mass we were given. So we have to subtract what? We have to subtract what we had and what is supposed to be, and it is giving us 59 here in this place. So we subtract 59 from here to get the what? To get the mass effect. And what do we see? It is going to be what? 0.477. That is the correct option there. So the mass effect is going to be what? This actual minus the theoretical, which is 59, and that is what? 0.477. That is A for 185. Next, it says calculate the binding energy per nucleon of the nucleus. Because one atomic mass unit is what? 931 mega electron volts. So how many atomic mass units do you have there? So let's calculate the binding energy. Don't forget that binding energy is when you convert what is the energy required to separate the what? Is the energy required to separate the nucleon apart. And in the nucleus, which is in the nucleus, what are the two things there? The proton and the neutron. So the energy required to hold them together or to separate them is called the binding energy. And it's going to be what? Taken from the what? From the mass defect. Having gotten that the mass defect says mass defect is delta n, which is 0.477 U, and we're told that what? 1 U, 1 atomic mass unit, 1 U is equal to what? Is 931 mega electron volts MeV. So how many mega electron volts will we get from 0.477? So we just say 0.477 multiplied by 931, and this is going to be 444.08 what? 087 what? Mega electron volt. Now this mega electron volt will be divided by the total number of what? Of nucleon we have. Say because it says per nucleon. And what do we mean nucleon? We mean the nucleus, which is the mass number. So we divide it just by what? The answer by 59. Answer divided by 59, it will give us, which is what? 7.58. 7.58. So the answer is what? Is simply what? B. 7.58 mega electron volts per nucleon is our answer. Next, question 187. During a thunderstorm, the sound is heard over a long time. This phenomenon is referred to as, you all know, when there is thunderstorm, you hear the sound over a period of time before it's finally stopped, and that is as a result of what? Reverberation. Reverberation is also known as what? Multiple echo, because each of the cliffs or the barriers that the sound passes through, we have to do what? We have to reflect it in form of multiple echo. That's why you hear it sounding over a long period of time before it finally comes to a stop. So the right option there is what? Reverberation of sound, B. Next, 188. If a container is filled with ice to the brim, what happens to the level of water when the ice is completely melted? Now, you need to understand that what? Ice and water are substance of the same material. However, ice is less denser than water, meaning that's the reason why if you put ice on water, it will float. So ice is less denser than water. This is because when you freeze water, it expands, and that is one of the reasons why your bottle gets cracked in the what? In your freezer. Your bottle drink gets cracked in the freezer when they are overly chilled, because the substance, the liquid, tends to what? It tends to expand on what? On freezing or on cooling. So ice will have high volume when it is cold, and when it's met, the volume will now decrease, and as such, we expect that what? When this ice that is filled to the brim, when it finally melts, it gets to what? Lower in value compared to what? When it was still ice. So A, the level in the glass outflows, no. B, the level of water drops. That's just the correct option. The level of water drops. Next, 189. A ball of mass 0.15 kg is thrown horizontally from the veranda of two-story building. At the same time, a second ball of mass 0.30 kg is dropped from the same point. Neglecting air resistance, the time it will take the second ball to reach the ground when compared to the time it takes the first ball to reach the ground will be the same. That is a statement of what? That's one of the experiments Galileo made. That when there is no resistance, no matter how light a body is, or no matter how heavy a body is, whenever you drop them from the same point, they are going to reach ground at the same time. So because all of them are going through what? Constant acceleration, that is acceleration due to gravity. So the right option is what? Is the same, which is option D. Next, question 190. High tension transmission means that when you get high tension transmission, it simply means what? It simply means high voltage and low current. That's the meaning of what? High tension transmission. And why do we transmit with high voltage and low current? At very high voltage and low current, we can reduce what? The heating of the what? Of the conductors or the power cables, because the heating of the power cable is a function of what? Resistance. Is a function of the current. And don't forget that this is the formula connecting them. So the heat generated is equal to I squared R times the time the current passes through it. So you can see the I is squared. So to reduce the heat that will be generated if you are transmitting over a long distance, you rather reduce the current with which that what cable carries, so that when you square it, it will be small. If not, if you allow the current to be high, if you square it, it will be too enormous, and most of your energy will be dissipated in form of what? Heat, which is not proper. So the meaning of high tension transmission once again means what? High voltage and low current. So let's look for the right option. The transmission at high voltage and low current. So the right option is option C. Next, 191. The force on a current carrying conductor in the magnetic field is greatest when the force, don't forget that force equals to QVB sine theta or ILB sine theta, any of the two. So this is a point charge, and don't forget these are what? Vector quantities. So you have to put that, and then it has to be this. So what happens when is it going to be maximum? You just focus on the what? On the sign of the angle. When is sin theta going to be maximum? Sin theta will be maximum at what? 90 degrees, because sin 90 is what? 1. Definitely this force is always maximum at what? At when theta is what? Is 90 degrees. Another way of saying theta is 90 degrees means what? When the angle between the what? The velocity and the what? And the field is what? Is the velocity component and the field is perpendicular. So let's look at the option. The conductor make an angle of 60 degrees with the field. No. B, force is independent of the angle. It is dependent because the formula has to do with sin theta. That is the angle. C, conductor is parallel with the field. No. If it is parallel, there will be no. It is going to be 0. D, conductor is at right angle with the field. Yes, that is the right option. D is the right option for question 191. Next, 192. 192. Two inductors of inductance 4 Henry and 8 Henry arranged in series, and a current of 10 amps pass through them. What is the energy stored in them? We said that inductor is used to store energy, but in what form? In the form of what? Magnetic field. So let's look at how we can get the what? The energy stored in an inductor. The energy stored in an inductor is given by the formula E equals to E of inductor. Let me put L for inductor, equals to half Li squared, where L is the what? Total inductance. And this total inductance, since they are connected in series, so our 1 over L total will be what? 1 over L1 plus 1 over L2. Inductors behave in a similar way with what? its capacitor. So we treat it in the same way. So it means that my L1, which is 1 over L total, equals to 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8. And it means 1 over L total is going to be, here is going to be 8 plus 4 all over 32, which is what? Which is 12 all over 32. And as such, my LT becomes what? 32 all over 12 Henry. Let's get that out. 32 divided by 12 Henry. And this is what? 2.667 Henry. With this now, we are told that the current of 10 ampere pass through it. So we now say what is going to be our energy is what? Half L, which is what? 2.667 times 10 squared, because we are told that current is what? Is 10. So that is going to be 100. That is going to be 100 all over 2 times 2.667. And this is going to be 50 times 2.667. And this is simply what? 133 joule. So our answer is 133 joules. So the right option here is D. Next. 193. A wheel and axle is used to raise a load of 100 Newton by the application of an effort of 250 Newton. If the radii of the wheel and axle are 0.4 centimeter and 0.1 centimeter respectively, the efficiency of the machine is what? Don't forget that we know that in the wheel and axle, the velocity ratio is simply the velocity ratio of wheel and axle. Velocity ratio is simply what? The radius of the wheel over radius of the axle, and the mechanical advantage is what? Load over effort. So the ratio, the radius of the wheel is what? 0.4 centimeter. We don't need to convert all over 0.1 centimeter for the what? For the axle, because centimeter is going to cancel, and your answer here is going to be 4. That is velocity ratio for your question. Then mechanical advantage is going to be load over effort, which were given as what? 500 Newton for load all over what? 250 Newton for effort. 250 Newton for effort, and here it is going to be what? 2. So don't forget that what? Your efficiency is mechanical advantage over velocity ratio times 100%. And here we have our mechanical advantage 2 all over 4 times 100%. And this is what? Simply 50%. So the right option here is what? Is B. Next. Which of the following electromagnetic spectrum is used in night vision? In night vision, the electromagnetic spectrum used is what? Is infrared waves. So is infrared waves. They are the ones that we can use in what? In night vision. So that is infrared wave. Next. 195. A rocket ejects 7 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 a rocket ejects, that is mass equals to 7 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 kilogram of gas with a velocity v equals to what? 250 meter per second. The question says, calculate the magnitude of momentum of the gas. Don't forget, momentum P is mass times velocity. That is 250 multiplied by 7 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 kilogram. And what happens? We just multiply that and we get our answer. So it's going to be 250 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 3 is going to give me 1.75. So my answer is 1.75. Don't forget the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. So the right option there is A. Next. 196. To protect a material from the influence of an external magnetic field, the material should be kept in a. If you want to protect a material from the influence of external magnetic field, the material should be kept in what? A soft iron ring. Why? Because soft iron ring are just too good a what? A ferrous material, and as such they can create a very strong field which will what? Negate or which will shield the material from the influence of an external magnetic field. So soft iron ring is the best option in this case. So 196 is D. 197 next. 197. Which of the following is an electrolyte? Grape juice, sugar solution, alcohol, paraffin. You know, grape juice is more acidic. Any substance that is acidic is suitable to be what? To be an electrolyte, because it will conduct, it will release some ions. So that is it. Sugar solution, it is not acidic, so we cannot use it. Alcohol the same way paraffin. So grape juice is the right option for this. Next. 198. Electrical appliances in homes are normally at, so that what? When you ask your electrical appliances, is to protect you touching the appliances from electric shock, because anytime it is at, the at is taking some remnants of of current down to the what? To the arc rod. So you are not at the risk of what? Getting electrocuted by touching your appliances. That is the major reason why what? Why electrical appliances at home are what? Are at. 199. A cell whose internal resistance is 0.5 ohms deliver a current of 4 amps to an external resistor. The lost voltage is what? So let's look at that. So we have a cell with internal resistance R, 0.5 ohms, and delivers a current 4 amps. I equals to 4 amps. And in this case, just know that what? Lost voltage is always what? Lost voltage is always current times the internal resistance. That is going to be what? 4 multiplied by 0.5 volts, and this is going to be what? 2 volts. So the lost voltage is what? 2.0 volts. That is option D for 199. And question 200. A spring of length. We have a spring. A spring of length 25 centimeter. So the length, that is what? Original length. It is what? 25 centimeter. It's extended to what? 30 centimeter. Final length, it is what? 30 centimeter. However, we know that our elongation is what? Final length minus what? Original length. And that is going to be 30 centimeter minus 25 centimeter. And this is going to be what? This is going to be 5 centimeter. We cannot use 5 centimeter. We have to convert to the standard, and we say it's going to be divided by what? 100. And this is 0.05 meter. So that is my meter, my elongation in meter. However, it said it was this elongation was achieved by what? By application of 150 Newton. So F is equal to what? 150 Newton. 150 Newton. And the question says, what is the energy stored in the spring? Don't forget that energy of spring, E of spring or Ws, can use ES or Ws, equals to half K E squared, or you say half F E. So since we don't have to look for K, however, we can as well look for K. Since we don't have to look for K, we can simply use what? This formula, half F E. Half F E 1/2 multiplied by force, which is 150 times your elongation 0.05. And that is going to be That is going to be 3.75 joules. 3.75 joules. So that is the energy stored in the what? In the spring. However, well, thank you for staying with us all this while. Thank you for your love of this platform. We advise you to do well to share, to follow us, you share the videos and any other videos on this platform. Do well to like us and subscribe to us.